The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, morrismedialive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters, streaming live and broadcasting live right here at Morris Media Studios in Leimert Park. In today's show, Blacks in America will join the country celebrating July 4th Independence Day. Today, Liberated Sisters poses the question, are we really free? We're going to be hearing some of the best answers and solutions to that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, guidance with facts and figures coming out of his 58-week lecture series, The Time and What Must Be Done. It is unprecedented. I'm not quite sure that many people remember or even realize that Minister Farrakhan every week straight produced this series, and it was an hour plus long. And so we're going to come out of part 48 with that. The series, this edition is called Separation and Independence. But first, the Justice Report. In today's Justice Report, out of the Final Call newspaper, the award-winning Final Call newspaper, there it is, Justice Delayed, Justice Denied in Forgotten Flint Water Crises. Coming up, we're going to be speaking with our writer, Brother Brian 18X Crawford. But before that, I want to call attention to something coming right out of Southern California. Yes, the sun is rising in the west. All roads lead to peace with dedication and work. This is the 75th peace ride that we've just had on last Sunday, everyone. The 75th peace ride in 8 years. Student minister, formerly Brother Tony Muhammad, now Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. Reverend Alfredi Johnson of the World Literacy Crusade. Pastor Claude Powell, and many others, motorcycles, low riders, sports bike, mini bikes, artists, entertainers, activists, everyone striving, gang members working toward peace. They met at Gonzalez Park in Compton on this Sunday, and the Final Call has a very beautiful spread about that. You'll see images of Reverend Alfredi and Minister Malik, also our brother, you know him, the humanitarian, Reza Islam, West Coast Cam, we love Brother Cam, and many more, the MGT drill team. But at the center of this was and is mothers, fathers, families whose children and loved ones have been slain in gang violence, and also those peacemakers that are working to help them. This ride was dedicated in honor of those families and mothers and Brother Nipsey Hussle Ermias Askedome, who was gunned down March 31st right in front of his own clothing store at Crenshaw and Slauson. So we want to make sure that we keep peace at the forefront. We've had United in Peace rides in now Houston, Texas, with student minister Abdul Halim Muhammad, and in Dallas. There's a lot in the Final Call which you don't want to miss. We will be coming up with Brother Brian, but I have to say, I just have to share some news with you. Thank Allah that the Final Call again is award winning at the NNPA. It won for second place general overall excellence. And we're going to show you some of the images right now. I don't have a shot of the award, but I can show you what it was for. The best news story. There it is. Ida B. Wells, Best News Story Award. First place. That's right. The Final Call, The Painful Problem of Black Girls and Suicide. And I like to share with you. There it is. Oh my God. I'm just enjoying myself because it's a we thing. Let's make no mistake about it. This is a we effort, not an I effort, but this is the Black press. And why this means so much to me is, number one, it's for the paper published by the boldest, baddest, bravest, most beautiful, most endearing, most caring defense attorney brother that we have, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And the brother who taught me and is teaching me how to write, Brother Richard Muhammad, has been the mainstay editor for me, but I've served under many editors at the Final Call. Brother Richard, the managing editor first that I started writing with. Brother James at the time, James G. Muhammad, our editor. Our general manager is Brother Fontaine Muhammad. Our first female editor is Sister Dora Muhammad. We have Brother Attorney, Student Minister Attorney Abdul Arif Muhammad. Wow. All of these great editors. And also we have at the helm again, Brother Richard. And so being a part of this team with senior staff writer, Askia Muhammad and others, it really is something I'm very proud of, because the Final Call every week has to put out that paper. Brother Richard, Sister Starla, his managing editor, every week we have to do this work. And so to be able to be recognized by our peers, the Black press, is phenomenal. I've been blessed by a lot of many awards, and I cherish all of them, and this one right along with it. So thank you so much to the NNPA, the Black press, under outgoing president, Brother Benjamin Chavis, and also the LA Sentinel and many other papers, of course, have won awards. So salute to everyone. I just wanted to share that little bit of joy that I had there. But now let's get back to the business. The Justice Report. Brother Brian Crawford is here to talk to us about this crisis in Flint. I mean, I don't even know how we're sleeping at night. Our people in Flint are still suffering. Brother Brian, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to Liberated Sisters.
Walaikum salam, Sister Charlene. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I don't have your great photo, brother. I forgot to do that. But let's talk about what you uncovered, justice delayed, justice denied. You know, Flint has not been on a lot of people's radar, but a lot of activists are still right there with the city fighting. What's happening there?
Well, you know, we live in an era where the news turns over so fast that a lot of things that, you know, a lot of things that capture our attention 1 minute, you know, will be going the next. And that's kind of what happened in the Flint situation. They're going on 62 months since their water's been contaminated. That's more than 5 years. This situation has been litigated in the court for the last 3 years. And nobody has been talking about it, you know, at least in the national news media for like the last 2 years.
Brother.
So it's almost like, you know, Flint has been forgotten about, or, you know, people have moved on to other things. But no, you know, these are people that are still living, you know, day to day, having to use bottled water for their daily needs. And so the most recent, you know, incident that happened was the new prosecutorial team came in and basically dropped all of the criminal charges against the people who were facing those charges from the last prosecutorial team. And the reason they did it was they cited, you know, basically mishandling of the case. A lot of it was related to documents that went uncovered. You know, they said that in a month of reviewing the old case file, they found more than 20 million documents that somehow slipped through the cracks in the first situation. So they felt the need, you know, to basically scrap the entire thing, and in doing that, drop the charges against the people who were, some of them were already actually going to stand trial. Drop those charges and then kind of refile this case, restart this case from the beginning, and you know, even open to, you know, refiling those same charges that those people got hit with, and maybe adding more on to it. So that's the updated situation in Flint. But obviously, you know, as you know, when you've been dealing with this situation, and we don't know, but for the people who've been in Flint dealing with this situation for the past 5 years, that's just very disheartening, because, you know, you got 5 years of this whole crisis, 3 years that has been spread in courts, and now you're telling these people you got to come and look them in the face and like, yeah, we're going to start all over again. So that didn't give anyone any sort of
Wow.
strong feeling that that they were being listened to, that they were being heard, and that people were
Right.
actually going to pursue justice.
Brother Brian, you're blowing my mind right now, and I see it in black and white, right? But I don't understand how we're having a presidential election. I don't understand how we have any political officials in that city, in that state, and how we are stumping on this campaign trail and buying all of this wax that these politicians are selling. And we have brothers and sisters in Flint suffering like this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about how we can tell when we have life. We don't feel that pain. And look, I read something this week, a news story here in LA that talks about three stores that people would not really believe would have this issue. But the allegation is that there's cyanide found in bottled water in these three stores. Two of them I shop at. I'm like, okay. We really don't have any solution here except to separate and just get a whole new clean system going. But tell us, how are the people doing? I mean, I can kind of imagine based on what you're saying, but we have to remember this is children with lead poisoning, adults. I don't think we can pipe enough water there.
Right. I mean,
Wow.
obviously, the spirits are not high. People are still down about this. I mean, you got to still use bottled water
Yeah.
every single day, and the bottled water isn't coming in as fast as it was when it was a big hot issue and everybody's kind of donating water.
Yeah.
They're still getting water donated, but it's not as much. So again, nobody's happy. There's complete dissatisfaction in this town.
Wow.
And from the local to the local leadership all the way up to the state level. And again, what is there to be happy about? If I still got to cook with bottled water, I still got to brush my teeth with bottled water. If I'm still getting rashes and stuff like that, like there's nothing to be happy about.
Wow.
And to come and tell people, not only tell them that you're dropping the case, but come and tell them to their faces 15 days later when you really announced this to the press first and had reporters calling people in Flint trying to get their reaction and they didn't even know.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff just adds to it. So, I mean, the
Disrespectful.
dissatisfaction in Flint, is very high. Just from disrespect, people being tone deaf, people not being listened to. All of that stuff is still going on, and this legal maneuver has just exacerbated it.
It's that tactic of waiting our people out, and unfortunately, it works every time. I have to say it works. We see it in police brutality cases. We see that the cases are dragged out, and before you know it, there's a judgment or a settlement or a dismissal, and people are like, oh, whatever happened to that? I'm looking at an image, and you can go to finalcall.com to read Brother Brian's story and look at these images. This beautiful sister, Mary Joyce Campbell, she's 65. She's a lifelong Flint resident. She's in tears. She spoke her mind at a city council. It's totally criminal. But again, can you give your thought about, we see politicians are now getting ready to go through the churches and the appeal for black vote. We have prominent black sisters or, popular black sisters at least, stomping for white candidates. But who cares about Flint? Can you talk about what any of the city, not officials there, because they're not doing anything, right? But activists and the people on the ground, any solutions that they're coming out? And are they going to be trying to use the political branch to get some type of justice there?
Well, the activists on the ground are still doing what they do. They're still putting in the work on a daily basis.
Yeah.
One of the issues that's taking place in Michigan is that all of this whole Flint situation happened under a Republican administration, and now everything is already flipped. So there's no election that they're looking forward to. This thing is not going to be politicized in any way.
Wow.
So that's part of the unfortunate thing, because we live in a time where when things are politicized, people care about them. You notice that with the reparations conversation. When you politicize something, then it just blows up. But if it's not politicized, it's forgotten about. So basically, what the people of Flint are being asked to do is trust this new team. And it's very hard to trust anybody when you've been having to use bottled water for 5 years, you know, people around you are dying, people are moving out, babies are sick, you know, you're getting rashes. You know, what is the trust there? And
yeah,
then, you know,
trust what?
Exactly. And one of the organizers that I spoke to, Sister Audrey Muhammad, she's in the nation as well. Her position was, you know, they should have just, the criminal charges that they had, they should have just pursued those already. Simply because, you know, you had those people bound over for trial. They were waiting to go to court. There was no reason to, you know, to scale back on that. The other issue is the statute of limitations on a lot of these charges expire in 9 months.
Oh, my God.
Whatever the new prosecution team is going to do, they have to do it quickly. And if they uncover 20 million documents in a month, how long do you think it's going to take them to actually filter through all of that? You know what I'm saying? And come up with new charges and file new charges and things like that. So the despair that you hear, and, you know, in Sister Mary Joyce's voice, and, you know, some of the other people that address those people at the microphone, that's real, because these people, you know, they're not asking for money. Obviously, they want to be compensated, but they want somebody to be held accountable for what happened to them. This is a poisoning. This is what this was. This is one of the largest ecological disasters to hit black people in recent memory, and nobody's being held accountable for it. And that's more than anything what they want to see. That's
right. And if we think that this is just going to be in Flint, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the minister told us this is the tip of the iceberg. You know, Flint is just one place. I just want to say before we go, thank you so much, because I'm looking at photos. You have women there. There's such despair. They're holding pictures of their loved ones. One woman is holding a picture of her father, who passed away 2 years ago from kidney cancer, right? Kidney cancer. This is all happening in an American city. Flint, Michigan. Shame on you. Shame on you. I want to give a shout out to Brother Greg Akili here, Baba Akili, who works diligently. He's an activist here with the people of Flint as well. Brother Brian, thank you so much for coming on the Liberated Sisters and talking to us about this. And thank you for covering Flint. As a matter of fact, can we do a Flint watch? As you're on that beat, a Flint watch? And yeah, okay, so we'll follow that, and we'll have you back with the next Flint Watch report, okay?
Absolutely. Hey, congratulations to you as well.
Praise be to Allah. You too. Best Feature Award winner last year. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Wa alaikum salam.
That's the Justice Report. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. We've been speaking to Brother Brian 18X Crawford, and you can go to finalcall.com to read his full story and look at those images and also get involved in what's happening in Flint. So he just agreed to do Flint Watch, and, you know, we'll let you know when that's coming back up. So right now, we're going to go to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and this is why he raises the question, and this is why his national spokesperson, Student Minister Dr. Ava Muhammad, is on a national tour asking the question, should blacks consider separation? Here's Minister Farrakhan with The Time and What Must Be Done, Part 48. Okay, we'll be coming back with the minister, inshallah, very soon. But I see you're listening. I would like to know if anyone wants to share. What do you think about what's happening in Flint? What do you think about what's happening in Flint? I mean, we're just under assault everywhere. The call-in number is 323-293-3375. I'll post it here, multitasking, right? 323. I hear it. Here's the minister.
The globe, in sold-out arenas and humble churches, from out on the streets to your screen. And now, the time and what must be done. On this edition of Farrakhan Speaks.
Greetings to you. I am Minister Louis Farrakhan, National Representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that great preacher of freedom, justice, and equality to the black man and woman of America and the Western Hemisphere, and to the aboriginal people of the earth, the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam, and a warner to the government and people of the United States of America, and a warner to the nations of the earth. I have been absent from these microphones for the last 8 weeks due to health challenges, but I am so grateful to Allah that He brought me through these health challenges and has returned me to my post. And what is that? To deliver the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on the time and what must be done. I want to thank Brother Jesse and the Twitter army. Thank you, Brother Jesse, for your work and the Twitter army that has had us trending for 30 straight weeks. Thanks to the listening public for your continued viewing and support of this broadcast. Many of them that I was guided by Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to give to you at various times. We can see how the messages of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are timeless. Every week's message while I was absent was relevant to the subject matter of this year-long broadcast titled The Time and What Must Be Done. And his program is ever relevant in solving the critical needs and problems of our people on every level: spiritual, economic, political, and social. Our subject today, on the 48th edition of The Time and What Must Be Done, deals with two powerful words: separation and independence. We must be separated from our former slave masters, and we must, by the order of Allah God, become an independent nation. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad writes in his monumental work titled Message to the Black Man in America on pages 203 and 204, he writes, "We must have some of this earth to produce our people's needs. It is the right time that we seek separation and independence for our nation from the evils of our open enemies and not the foolish things that some of us are seeking and doing. Our people seek that recognition which demands better qualifications, education, the knowledge of self and others, manners and self-respect, and the respect of others. But our people just do not have these qualifications until they first come to Islam or submit their will to do the will of God and bear witness to what Allah God has revealed to me. No intelligent and refined society will accept us until we have the above stated qualifications. Look at these reality shows. Look at how we are being portrayed. Some of our great professionals, doctors, lawyers, preachers, wealthy basketball players, football players, and their wives. Look at how we are being portrayed. Because we are good at our profession, this does not yet mean that we are civilized. You could be a great doctor, but a savage in behavior. We could be great lawyers, great preachers, but have a savage state of mind. And if you don't know yourself, if you don't have self-respect, if you don't know the manners of decent, civilized society and portray that at home and abroad, we then can be considered as savage. And what is being shown of us on television, it begs the intervention of Allah, God, and His Messiah to teach us how to be a civilized human being. But back to the writings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Message to the Black Man, he writes again, it is common to see and hear of white mobs attacking, beating, and shooting down poor blacks whose fathers and mothers' labor, sweat, and blood helped to make America the richest government on earth. Nevertheless, we are yet the most hated and mistreated people. Allah, God, wants to make a great nation out of us, the so-called Negroes. However, if we desire to remain the slave or servant for our slave masters and their children, it is all right with Allah. The question we have to ask and answer properly is, do we love ourselves and our children? If so, why not build a future for ourselves rather than beg the same slave masters and their children for jobs and equal shares in whatever they have, even to equal membership in their society and families through intermarriage? This is definitely not a wise thing to do, but a very foolish and destructive thing for the once slave and his master to do. By the help and guidance of Allah God, I have put before you the wise and best thing for your future. First, some of this earth that we can call our own. The original Declaration of Independence, written by Thomas Jefferson. America's founders understood just how wrong and how wicked slavery was. In the original draft of the Declaration of Independence, over 90% of it written by Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the original draft and blamed the King of England for enslaving the African and condemned him as being a Christian while partaking in the slave trade. Look at these words that Thomas Jefferson wrote, and then, unfortunately, they took these words out of the Declaration of Independence. He wrote, "He, the King of England, has waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people, Africans, who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, to incur miserable death in their transportation thither to America." Look at how well Mr. Jefferson wrote what England did, because England was the culprit that introduced us into this hemisphere and started the transatlantic slave trade. Thomas Jefferson went on to say, this piratical warfare, the opprobrium, shame of infidel, faithless powers, is the warfare of the so-called Christian king of Great Britain, determined to keep open a black slave market where men should be bought and sold. The original framers of the Constitution, in putting these words to the King of England, were literally using the transatlantic slave trade to bash the king and to justify as one of the reasons why they wanted separation from him. Not only that he was doing, but of course, the mistreatment of the 13 colonies. Mr. Jefferson continues, the king has prostituted his negative, his veto powers over colonial legislation for suppressing every legislative attempt to prohibit or to restrain this execrable, utterly detestable commerce, and that this assemblage of horrors might want no fact of distinguished dye. The king wants to keep this hidden, so he is now exciting those very people, African slaves, to rise in arms among us and to purchase that liberty of which he has deprived them, and murdering the people on whom he also obtruded or imposed upon them, thus paying off former crimes committed against the liberties of one people, the Africans, with crimes which he urges them to commit against the lives of another, the white colonists. They spoke angrily of the evils of black slavery, but only when they felt the King of England was taking all the profits. For just as soon as they broke away from the power of the crown, the leaders of the new nation, supposedly founded on liberty, increased the evil against the African people, knowing all the time that it was wrong and morally unjustified. They were not willing to give up their slaves, nor forego the massive profits of the slave trade. All their moralizing and complaints against the king meant nothing in the face of the wealth they made on our blood, sweat, toil, and tears. But this shows what kind of man Thomas Jefferson was in writing these words. But he was trapped in something that he knew would ultimately be the undoing of that which the founding fathers were forming. Thomas Jefferson gave in to the majority because he was in the minority. And the sad thing about this is that Thomas Jefferson was the conscience of the founding fathers of this nation. And when they agreed to take out his words, they nullified his spirit contained in these words. So it is today with Barack Obama and his desire for peace with Iran. Not a peace to leave Israel unprotected, but through the peace and the agreement, Israel would be protected, and Iran would not have a potential for a nuclear weapon. Yet, Israel is not satisfied. The founders of America well understood, my dear black brother and sister, who you and I are. And they understand the end that would ultimately come to them because of what they and their children have done to us. They put it in their first proposed seal, and they put it in their original draft of the Declaration of Independence, but they took the seal away and they took the words away because their own words and deeds condemned them. And so Thomas Jefferson would later write, quote, "I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever," close quote. And George Washington predicted that the black slaves would become, quote, "a very troublesome species of property before too many years pass over our heads," close quote. They knew that America would be in trouble just for having these Africans as American property. This motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, had nothing to do with us. We will never be made one into the 6 nations of Europeans who were the founders of this nation. And neither will the Native Americans, neither will our Latino brothers and sisters. And the more America tries to hold on to us, the more America will find herself fighting against Allah God, who wants to deliver us from you and make us into an independent nation. The black and the brown and the Native Americans feel the pain of white supremacy more so than the Asians, because the Asian people and their culture makes them able to take advantage of America's saying that they are citizens, because they have that self-knowledge, self-respect, self-determination. So they pool their resources and continue to build in a society that as of yet is not so pleased with their color or their features, and in times past have called the presence of Asians among us the yellow peril. But even among evil people, Allah God provides a conscience. So when I asked in my lecture in Indianapolis last Sunday, would any one of you, of your own free will and volition, kill a messenger of God that is advising you against doing something that would ultimately bring you irreparable harm? Would you do that? And of course, they answered no. Yet, when that still small voice arises to condemn us for what we think we would like to do that is against natural and divine law or even state law, we put that conscience to sleep. And so it was with the original framers of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. They put the wisdom and moral correctness of what Thomas Jefferson had inserted or wrote in the original draft of the Declaration of Independence. They put it to sleep. They took it out so that future generations would never be reminded of the moral judgment that they made at that time that is condemning this present generation to the justice of God. Not only did they condemn the black man to slavery, but in the ultimate act of selfishness, these founding fathers were willing to let future generations of their own children face retribution for their enrichment. Let us look at the great house of Israel and the seal of America. The real great house of Israel is right here in America. It is the great house of the white race. And the children of Israel are the lost sheep within this house of Israel. Lost within the civilization, culture, knowledge, wisdom of white people. The founding fathers of America understood this and gave us signs and symbols that prove it. Look at the great seal that was first proposed in 1776 for the United States by a committee of prominent men, including Ben Franklin, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson. The seal had two sides to it. The front side was the all-seeing eye, the shields of the 6 nations at the root of white America: Britain, Holland, Germany, France, Ireland, and Scotland. A woman holding an even balance, the sign of justice. Another woman holds the spear and cap, the sign of liberty. The initials of the 13 colonies and the motto, E pluribus unum, out of the many, one. On the back side of the seal, you see rays from a pillar of fire in a cloud, with a beam of light coming down from that cloud on Moses. You see Pharaoh sitting in an open chariot, a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the children of Israel. And you see Moses standing on the shore, extending his hand over the sea, causing it to overwhelm Pharaoh. And the motto is, rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. It is interesting that Ezekiel, over 500 years before Jesus, saw a wheel in the midst of a wheel that was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. The same cloud and pillar that was seen over Moses. So in the 13th chapter of Exodus, the 21st and 22nd verses of the King James Version, it reads, "And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people." And we are here to tell you that that wheel is above your head as we speak. We will discuss this in more detail in coming weeks when we deal with the wheel and the so-called unidentified flying objects.
Oh my God, The wheel, unidentified flying objects. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Here it is. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's part 48, Separation and Independence, of his unprecedented lecture series, The Time and What Must Be Done. The Time and What Must Be Done. And now we would like to talk about some of how we could get to that point, separation and independence, because it's not just a slogan, right? Do for self is not a feel-good phrase. It's actually a directive. It's a mission. And it's something that we have to do if we are to survive. So check this out.
Hey, you ready? Hey, grab that right there. Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready. We came here to see Jet. What you got? No, not on my watch. No way. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. You can bring what you got. I'm going to the top. Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
Our U.S. black community has over $1.3 trillion in buying power, but spends almost all of it outside the race, leaving our race broke. Help our race reclaim its wealth by becoming a marketer in the tag team marketing opportunity. As a marketer, you can generate long-term income by getting black people buying from black-owned businesses on buyblackmovement.com.
I am a part of the greatest business on earth.
Brother Delzino, Sister Debbie have found a way to bring that $1.3 trillion back to our people.
Would you want a little piece of that? A little piece is all you need. 1.3 trillion, I'm getting mine. I don't know about you.
If you just follow the system, you will succeed.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
Being a marketer at the beginning of a movement like this is about those that want to take our people forward, that want to be a part of something great, that want to contribute to making our people better.
It is a phenomenal thing to be a marketer here at Tag Team Marketing.
I love being a marketer for the movement.
To be a marketer is an honor and it is a pleasure.
To be amongst black people who's looking for the same thing that I'm looking for.
I've been looking for this all my life.
So then when I found Tag Team, I was like, oh, okay. Everybody looks like me. We all have the same intention. This can work.
Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
I get the opportunity to tell other black people about all these black business owners who have these valuable products.
Being a marketer is great because you get to connect our people with our people.
We get to support and let our families and friends know about the Buy Black movement and really keeping our dollars circulating and cycling in our communities.
And to be able to present these beautiful products to others to say, this is us, is an honor and a privilege, and I want to do it for the rest of my life.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
I've always had a burning desire in me that there was something I want to do, but I didn't know until I landed right here in Tag Team Marketing.
To me, it's like rebuilding Black Wall Street. To me, it's like rebuilding the Marcus Garvey movement.
This is where I want to be, because this is the place to be, and this is where the opportunity is in us.
This is for our people. This is how we build a future.
This is Black excellence at its finest, and Black people who really understand what it means to be Black, love their Blackness, and also to really give back to the community in a real way, in a way that's actually going to work and move us forward as a people.
To the top. Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
This movement has been life-changing for me. in every way. It's just phenomenal.
Beyond the money, beyond the business, I just have this newfound affinity for Black people.
To be surrounded by positive, beautiful, forward-thinking Black people who understand their value.
The love that's here, the camaraderie, the overall conviction that we all share to help our people worldwide.
The joy, the Blackness is amazing.
Hopping out that truck about looking like Thriller. I'm ready for the millions. Talk to myself in the mirror. Is you ready? Ready. Jump off in that Bentley with no ceiling. Is you ready? Is you sick of taking losses? Time for winning.
I've never had any type of success like this in the many businesses that I've been a part of.
And this is the only one like it on the planet where everybody that participates earns in some kind of way. And that is the only way we're going to put our own people to work, for number one, and gain the economic power that we need.
We can make a whole lot of money collectively together here.
And I've been getting checks. I've gotten checks. One of the things is that you look forward to in a business or any business is getting paid. So if you see any money coming in, I think you want to keep on going.
I'm creating the future for my race.
Yes.
It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
You guys ready for some magic, everybody? You ready to take your lives to another level, everybody?
I'm excited. You're excited. We're excited. Let's do this Buy Black movement, the tag team marketing.
I really feel like every Black person in America, worldwide, really can benefit from this movement.
If you're really thinking about doing something constructive, this is it. Take a close look at what you have here, because it's the way of the future.
I would encourage each and every one of you that if you got just this much thought about which way I want to go, come on home. This is it right here.
Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose and a lot to gain.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
Is you ready? I love it. That is so high energy. I really love that presentation. But that's Brother Del Zeno. That's Sister Debbie. That's Tag Team Marketing. I want to give you some information as we take out the show on a very high note. See, we started out telling you about some of the problems. We jumped a little bit into some of the victories along the way as we discussed these problems. And then we came back with the minister and we gave you guidance and hardcore solutions to the problems. And now we give you a route out, right? We do not have to be subjected to jobs that we don't like and poor quality products that we don't like. These qualities are top notch. I'll stop right there about what Tag Team offers, and I'll say this, and you can hear from the president and co-founder of the company himself, Brother Del Zeno Wilson Debriano. So let me give you a bit of information. So he's the president of Tag Team Marketing International Incorporated. You know, the Buy Black movement. And again, it's not just a slogan, Buy Black. It's not just a slogan, do for self. We really have to do it. We don't have to sit around and watch other people prosper off of what we build. Hair products, and not only hair products, hair. I'm talking about not braid hair, weave hair, natural hair. Our natural hair and how we comb it and what we do with it is being licensed. Give me a break. So back to what we're talking about. I'm inviting you to something. Members of the Tag Team Marketing Opportunity are getting paid to refer Black people to buy from the Buy Black movement. And Brother Del Zeno and Sister Debbie and the whole team, they're going to be right here in Los Angeles. He's offering a free presentation and you can get more information. Talk to him and them one-on-one. As a result of getting Black people to buy from Black people, the movement has grown to over 68,000 members and has sold over 140,000 Black-made products. All right, let's let that soak in. 140 Black business owners have sold their products, right? And so far, they've generated like tremendous incomes in the Black community. So the Buy Black movement is taking the world by storm. We have Justice or Else, Black Xmas, 10, 10, 15, all of this. These are all things that point to this because they give us a way that we can now go to one hub, find out what the black businesses are, support them and their quality products. At this powerful presentation, which is coming up, and I will tell you when, right? You're going to learn about it. And I think we have some images that we can show you. If the video presentation, that commercial wasn't enough, here's a couple of flyers just so that you can see what's happening. So at this free presentation, you're going to learn about tag team marketing opportunities, how you can get involved and earn, how you can generate income for your family and your community. At the same time, you can get inspired and definitely will be motivated, as have I been. Learn how others are changing their lives with tag team marketing and how you can too. If we could go back to that Marcus Garvey flyer, I just want to give them that beautiful black man right there. Look at the Honorable Marcus Garvey. This is a foundation for tag team. And so this presentation is this Friday, August 16th. And as you see it there on the flyer, August 17th, it's taking place on Garvey's 132nd birthday. And so that's at August 16th and 17th at Christ Unity Center, 7825 Southwestern Avenue in Los Angeles. Join black people all over Southern California. They're going to be attending this powerful event. If we can leave those two right there, I really want you all to take that in. Look at the beautiful, the red, the black, and the green van. Glorious, right? Come on, talk about it, X-Clan. So the key is you can come in person to Crash Unity Center, or you need to make a free account. Create your free account. You can use my link right there, and you can watch the broadcast for free and take advantage, of course, of any and everything else that's there. So the requirement is, again, create your free account to watch the live broadcast if you can't come down and be with us physically. And that's your sister's personal link. See Muhammad 19 at buyblackmovement.com. The seating and the viewing slots are limited. Don't wait. Go to Tag Team TV to watch. And bless another brother and sister and share this information. So we're closing out the show right now on finalcall.com. I want to say again, the time and what must be done. You can go to thetimeandwhatmustbedone.com. Look, I'll put some more announcements on Facebook about where you can hear Liberated Sisters. I want to take off right now. Thank you so much to Brother Brian 18X Crawford, the NNPA, the Final Call entire staff, our publisher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you for watching, and the owner right here, Bold Black Beautiful, Sister Felicia, the poetess Morris at Morris Media Studios. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying, if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.